Welcome to the Bull Session Podcast. Wow, that is really getting loud there. I thought we'd start a little music today. Same hotel, my type. You know, we love our jobs here, and so what a great day to be a liberal. I have to say that. Bull Session Podcast. I am Buck Russell.
And I am Marcus
the man across from me. Thank you. Sorry, we've been gone for almost a month.
I think 3 weeks.
3 weeks we've been off. So we got to get back in the swing of things and get it. But we've had 3 great weeks of nothing but unbelievable news stories that have come out. And a lot has come out in the last week. A lot of the sexual harassment.
Yeah,
that is huge right now.
Pretty much been exploding.
That's exploding right now.
No pun intended.
I saw something on Facebook the other day, and it said, and it goes, what if Hugh Hefner was a creepy man keeping things all together, and then this is like all this has happened since he died, and now all this sexual harassment stuff has come out. So it was Hugh Hefner was literally saving those guys, and now it's pretty much over because literally what has happened to the Republicans in the last 2 weeks is unbelievable. And I'm not saying this just because I am a liberal. I'm saying it because it literally sounds like they're imploding. Why do the Republicans and people who support the Republicans still want to back them up, especially what we've heard? They lost in huge numbers last week, big time, in some key places, which could be a view of what's going to happen.
Governor Lard is out.
No, get it right. Krispy Kreme. Governor Krispy Kreme from New Jersey is gone. I believe in also
him and did they? Is his bladder bag gone too?
More than likely, yeah. They're going to need to,
deflate it.
I need to find where, who all lost. If you can find that out, I'm never good talking and getting on the computer at the same time. But we want to talk about the GOP tax cut today. Our good friend Roy Moore, who's a fucking just 2 shades in the wind, just creepy.
Hey. He did what Jesus did. Okay.
He didn't.
Yeah, come on.
No, he didn't. Come on, get it straight, man. That's just wrong. I'm sorry, but everybody keeps coming back and forth to this, and we'll start off with this today. Trump, him and his buddy Putin, Vladimir Putin. And if you want to know why we're saying that, we'll tell you later. But thank you,
we
Steven
said that.
Seagal.
I thought we said
we
that
very well
once,
could have. But from NPR, which is known as one of our favorite places to look up, Trump, and I quote, Putin again denied interfering in election, and he, double quote, I really believe he means it, unquote. And there's this wonderful picture where if you go on
I really
NPR,
believe he means it.
Yeah. And I'm going to read this. This is from Scott Horsley and Martina Stewart of NPR. And they say, and this was updated this morning, President Trump told White House press corps Saturday that he had several brief conversations with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of an Asia-Pacific summit the 2 men were attending in Vietnam. During those conversations, Putin once again denied any interference in last year's election, Trump said. And the president said he believed that Putin believed there was no interference. Quote, he said he didn't meddle, unquote, Trump said aboard Air Force One, or as we know now, I think that's Agent Orange's #1 plane, whenever he discussed Russia's interference in the 26th election with Putin. He said he didn't meddle. I asked him again. You can only ask so many times. When you say that, there's a great cutaway in Family Guy where this James Bond, and it's the Connery Bond, tells this girl, and he goes, we're going to have sex now. And she goes, no, James. And he says, yes. And she goes, no, James. And he says, yes. And she goes, okay, yes. And he looks at the camera and goes, 50 no's and a yes still means yes. That's what it seems like this is right now. He keeps saying no. Are we going to get a yes eventually? I mean, because there are so many things. I don't necessarily know if anything was behind it, but we know there has been a lot of meddling from somewhere in Russia. We know this for a fact. We know that Facebook had the Russian ads that pushed on Facebook to support Trump. They spent like $100,000 on it. This we know is a fact. This has been proven. I cannot find the site where this was true, but I know that this to be a fact. Is there collusion from the Russians to put a person more like Donald Trump in this place? Because it really makes the U.S. look like they're absolute idiots.
Yes, it really does.
Yeah. So I don't really know what to say about the whole collusion thing. I just know that he fucking did it and pretty much is. I mean, he's so. Put it this way: every time they ask him about this, he's like the guy that he's almost like the guy in like The Usual Suspects or something. It's like. So the cops are here. We're going to question you about. Well, I didn't murder my wife. Well, we didn't ask you that. Well, I didn't. I swear to God, I didn't. Well, what are you talking about? We didn't even ask you. We didn't even talk about murdering your wife.
That's literally a trope on every single detective show. Is
he blurts. I mean, and then he keeps talking about it. It's like we're not even asking you about this.
Yes, means yes.
He's just like he keeps. Yeah. And then he'll keep talking about it. Well, I didn't do it. Okay, and then the interview is like the reporter's like wrapping up, and he's still going. Well, no, there's no collusion, and there isn't any, and they haven't found it. It's like, oh, you've said this like 50 times.
Yeah.
Could you look any more fucking guilty?
Well, here's another thing too as we continue with this,
he's so bad at that.
Putin has repeatedly denied the Russian government had any role in interfering in the 2016 presidential race, but the U.S. intelligence community has concluded that Russia did interfere with an eye toward boosting Trump's political chances and damaging Hillary Clinton's. And CIA Director Mike Pompeo stands by the community's assessment, CNN reported. Quote, the intelligence assessment regarding the Russian election meddling has not changed, the CIA said in a statement, according to CNN. Now,
fake news.
We're going to go in the fake news route, and
well, that was Moore's, defense on his whole,
we'll get there.
Pedophilia.
Yeah, trust me, we will get there. But it's, he wants to say that having a relationship with Russia would be a great thing, especially relates to North Korea. Honestly, the Russians are close to North Korea, yes. But the one thing that is closest to North Korea is China. It's not Russia that's keeping North Korea in check. No, it's China. And
China.
And speaking of his transatlantic or transasian run.
Transatlantic.
Oh, dear God. He goes to Japan and meets with,
and tells them
I believe, the Prime Minister of Japan.
They're a country of samurais.
Probably.
Well, he did say that.
He did?
Yeah, I'm not joking. I was
well, he did something else that is just, to me, is stupid. He goes to Japan and has dinner or lunch or something with the Prime Minister of Japan. It wasn't with Emperor Hirohito, or the Emperor, but he was, or is it Empress now? I can't remember. But he had dinner. So he was offered probably some of the best sushi in the world. And what does he go for? A well-done cheeseburger with ketchup and mustard. Wow.
That's going to taste great in Japan.
I'm sorry, but if you're in a country like that, you should follow the customs. And if you don't like it, you take a bite, you say, hey, great, you swallow it, you kind of throw up in your mouth, and you move on. You don't insult the country like that.
Or you throw up all over the Chinese like George H.W. Bush did that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know what he did to
his diet. That's another thing I think is so funny. His diet is just horrible. I mean, this is a guy that only eats cheeseburgers, pizzas, ribs,
well-done steak, which can be very, very tough with ketchup.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, working in the food service industry is terrible.
Fucking fat.
But I mean, trust me,
he's the fattest president we've ever had.
Well,
oh no, he not who's what's his face?
Probably currently, I don't know, because Grover Cleveland was pretty hefty. Taft was pretty. There's a lot of presidents that have been
Taft. Yeah, but I'm saying within the last 50, 60 years,
absolutely,
they've all been
I would
really
say
skinny,
probably since,
and they've all been like, kind of gym rats.
Let's see, FDR obviously was skinny. Kennedy was, Truman was, Nixon. Yeah, I would totally agree with you. Probably in the latter half of the 20th, 21st
Reagan,
century.
all of them.
Clinton.
Yeah. Well, Clinton got fat for a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
But he's like super skinny now. But I mean, not that matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, every one of them were at least trim when they went into office.
I'm sorry,
he was fat when he went into office. He's gotten fatter.
As we continue on with this, it just drives me crazy. As you know, the president goes on Twitter more than he does anything else in the world, which I have a theory behind this, but some bad news on top of Twitter. But literally, he mentioned quote, crooked Hillary Clinton, unquote, in her effort to improve relations with Russia while Secretary of State. And Trump said, quote, Obama tried also, but he had zero chemistry with Putin. And then his tweet on November 12th, which was today, says, quote, does the fake news media remember when crooked Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, was begging Russia to be our friend with the misspelled reset button? Obama tried also, but he had zero chemistry with Putin. Okay, let's get one thing crystal clear, Mr. President. You are not the person that is getting Russia on our side, okay? No. Ever since Reagan, as much as people hated Reagan, Reagan was a good diplomat. He is one of the people that helped the destroy of communism, and along with a moderate Gorbachev, is the reason why the Berlin Wall went down, and we had cooling of relations between the United States and Russia, and that was continued through Clinton, even GW.
Oh yeah, yep.
Did, and Obama did.
Yeah.
You are not doing anything except to poke the fire in the third world.
Exactly.
On that side of the country, on that side of the world. So don't sit there and say that you are the one person that is bringing peace to Asia.
He's the
You're
other.
not.
He's the other person. He's the biggest of any of doing this, of taking credit for all the other presidents' victories. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, well, they already did that, you know. It's like them doing their test for you. I mean, he's already all he does
is that.
Yeah, he just takes credit for the shit that's already in place, that they already put in place. Either Obama put in place or George W. before him.
Yeah. So
it's just but that's his skill, though. I will give him that. He is good at conning people into thinking, "Oh shit, he did that. He did that. Wow."
Yeah. Next thing you know,
go research it. Seriously, it's already been in place before he took.
Next thing you know,
office.
he's going to sit there and say that he is going to. He's the one person that got rid of. Excuse me, Jim Crow laws.
Right.
You know. What is the deal with that? So, and then he suffered some huge losses, as we said in the beginning.
Yeah,
huge.
Ed Gillespie was one of the losses.
Ed Gillespie, yes, in Virginia. Ralph Northam won the governor, and he won by about 7 to 8% of the vote, which is amazing. 8%. That is roughly probably the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans in the 2016 election, which I would say would be close.
Yeah.
An African American lieutenant governor, the second African American to hold that office since Reconstruction, which was 1865. That's impressive. Mm-hmm. You know, but when it comes down, okay, this is what happened, and I'm quoting this article once again from NPR from Jessica Taylor, and this was on the 7th. Trump quickly weighed in via Twitter. God, I cannot talk today. Arguing Gillespie lost because he hadn't embraced him enough. Trump didn't campaign in person for Gillespie, though he did tweet out support for him and recorded a robocall saying the Republican candidate would help make America great again.
His tie wasn't
so first off,
long enough.
Tweeting one,
yes.
Robocall. Who the fuck listens to robocalls anymore? I sit there, I pick up the phone, and I'm like, literally at my job, I'm like, hello? If I don't hear anything, if I say hello 3 times, I hang up. On my phone, if I don't recognize the damn number, I'm not answering the phone, and probably 90% of Americans do, I would assume.
Everybody I talk to, or that I even barely know, will do that.
Yeah. I don't recognize the number.
Don't recognize that number.
Not answering
that phone. Oh, they didn't leave a message. Couldn't have been important. So it's, I mean, come on.
So the tweet that Mr. Trump gave was, quote, Ed Gillespie worked hard but did not embrace me or what I stand for. Don't forget, Republicans won 4 out of 4 House seats and the economy doing record numbers. We will continue to win even bigger than before. That right there, he blamed him.
You'll be tired of winning.
He blamed him because he did not embrace Donald Trump or Trumpism. That's just stupid.
No,
We
it's
continue
not. No.
because
Fake news.
listen to this. This is amazing. This made me freaking laugh. The backlash to the Trump was not limited to the Virginia governor's mansion. Democrats are poised to make major gains in the Virginia House of Delegates as well, including electing the first openly transgender state.
I'd actually like to talk
lawmaker.
about that article because I have it right here.
Please do. No, go ahead, because I have an old article. This is about a week old. So please.
Yeah, this is from the Washington Post. I didn't know he says this is fake news, but I don't fucking
No,
care.
I
He
don't.
says
This
everything's
is just
fake news if they don't suck his dick. So, transgender candidate Danica Rome, she won for a House of Delegates seat in Virginia, and it was like historically because she was the first transgender candidate to run. Well, the funniest thing about this whole thing
Here it comes,
is she
kids.
defeated this social conservative, what they called a social conservative icon in this Bob Marshall. He was a 26-year incumbent.
13 terms.
Yeah. 26-year incumbent who he listen to this. He once called himself Virginia's chief homophobe. He called himself that. And she did it. She beat him by almost 10 points. And yeah, so she becomes the first openly transgender candidate elected to a state legislature in American history.
Well, also, another thing, too, is that he was the one that crafted Virginia's bathroom
bill. Yeah.
He was literally the chief architect of that
Yep.
bathroom bill. And the one thing that is funny about that is that he creates that, and then he gets beat by a trans woman. I told that to my wife this morning or last night. No, I told her today. She's like, "What are you talking about today?" And I told her, she goes, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's awesome." And I'm like, that is karma incarnate. Whoever said karma doesn't exist, talk to what's his name, Bob Marshall, because guess what? You're out. He even refuse to call her she or her.
Yeah, he didn't. And now
You
it's
know?
just like, yeah, well, fuck you. And what's also interesting, in Minneapolis, meanwhile, Andrea Jenkins, Democrat, became the first openly transgender candidate to win a city council seat in a major city. And in Pennsylvania, Tyler Titus became the first openly transgender person elected in state history by winning a seat on the Erie School Board. I hope I didn't fuck that
That's
up.
right.
ERIE.
I
Erie School Board?
Erie.
Yeah.
Erie.
So,
Well, here's another thing, too,
yeah,
is
that's kind of...
I blogged on this on my blog a few years ago. There was an openly gay mayor, young lady, I believe his name was Anissa Parker, and she was going for the mayorship of the city of Houston. It was
Okay.
Austin, Texas, or Houston, Texas. Openly gay, had no denying of it, okay? The conservative side of things decided that they were going to show her,
Pray the gay away.
basically saying that
Mike
she was
Pence's
with...
take a Mike Pence class. You're going to be
Right.
right as rain afterwards.
She basically, was there with her partner, who she
Okay.
was in love with, not married, obviously, back then, because this was 2007, 2008, who was very much in love with, and showed her. And then there was a picture, or the caption, I believe, was, "Do you want this?" When did people's sexual preference come into practice in American politics, or being a person?
Right.
Okay? There are straight people that do some fucked up shit,
As we know.
as we will be talking about here real soon. But what is the big deal? Okay, what's the gay agenda? They want purple curtains or something? They want chartreuse? What? I don't
It
fucking
doesn't.
understand.
That's what I've never understood with it. It doesn't affect your life, so who cares?
No, but they're like, oh, I'm worried
Are they going
about
to try to
their
marry?
soul.
Are they going to try to marry you? I mean, I don't. Who gives a shit? Who cares? As long as they're not fucking little kids. Oh wait.
Oh, wait, apparently they're supposed to be. You know?
That's other people in
and
politics that are doing that, and that's okay though now.
Yeah.
Didn't used to be, but now it is. When it's
I'm trying to find the article I'm looking for. The blog. I have to freaking change things because we're stupid computer.
Stupid Flanders.
Stupid Flanders. This word sucks. But let's go talk. Speaking of little liking little girls or little boys or whatnot. As you know, we have brought up his name a few times, and he makes me absolutely fucking sick. He does. I would like to do this to him. I'd just like to punch him. Okay.
In the genitals.
The picture. Look, you should see the picture that is right now on my screen. He looks like a smug son of a bitch.
He looks like a fucking pederass.
He is.
I'd never let him watch my kids if I had any.
Former Alabama Chief Justice and current U.S. Senate candidate Roy Moore. This guy is going for Senate in the great state of Alabama, which we know has not been the most greatest place for liberalism in the last.
No, but Birmingham went for Hillary in 2016.
Yeah,
Birmingham is a city that's honestly become a lot more progressive over the years. It's kind of like with Omaha, you know.
Well, here it is. This was updated on Friday morning. Roy Moore, the Republican nominee for the open Senate seat in Alabama, is facing accusation from a woman who said he initiated sexual contact when she was 14 and he was a 32-year-old district attorney. 14, not 16, not 18,
right?
14. Okay, I don't know what it says here the age of consent in Alabama is 16. The Washington Post published a story Thursday documenting the accusations by Leigh Korfman, who spoke on record to the paper along with her mother, as long as 3 other women who said Moore pursued romantic involvement when they were between the ages of 16 and 18, and he was in his 30s. So what are they saying?
No.
Let's go to Vice President.
No, actually,
Dickhead.
most of them actually said shit against him and actually, said that this was horrible and everything. Just kidding.
Anyways,
of course they didn't. They got behind him.
So this is what happened.
And they fucking defended him.
Vice President Pence became the most senior Republican this far to respond to the allegations. I'm sorry, but your party leader is basically jumping ship with you. I quote, the vice president found the allegations in the story disturbing and believes, if true, this would disqualify anyone from serving in office.
He's supposed to be calling his date's mom, like I do, my wife, said Pence. Okay.
I don't even call my wife that. That just is
He calls his wife mother.
Yes.
What the...
He is like...
He probably wears her fucking clothes.
So here is what Moore decided to say to the Washington Post.
Him and his albino fucking hair.
Okay. I quote, this is from Moore. Quote, these allegations are completely false and are a desperate political attack by the National Democrat Party and the Washington Post on this campaign.
Fake news. Doesn't he say about that? This is the definition of fake news? Yeah. I thought that was one of his
okay. Then Moore's campaign chairman, Bill Armistead, said, quotes, Judge Roy Moore has endured most outlandish attacks on any candidate in the modern political arena. But this story in today's Washington Post alleging sexual impropriety takes the cake. National liberal organizations know their chosen candidate, Doug Jones, is in a death spiral, and this is their last-ditch Hail Mary. And then, of course, Judge Roy Moore decides to get on fricking Twitter and says this, quote, the Obama-Clinton machine's liberal media lapdogs just launched the most vicious and nasty round of attacks against me I've ever faced.
I love how they're still bringing up fucking Obama and Hillary Clinton.
But here's the funny thing is now seems, as I read a little farther, is that there are a lot of Republicans that are jumping ship.
Yeah, well,
it didn't sound like Pence was really on his side. Mitch McConnell, the freaking, looks like a
turtle.
Turtle. If these allegations are true, quote, if these allegations are true, he must step aside, unquote. I'm sorry, but if you said something like that, if something was said like that to you, about you,
right,
I would be like, motherfucker, no, that's not true. I would back it up.
Right.
There are people that are just literally jumping ship.
Yeah, they don't even know. I mean, the thing about it is he continues to defend this and say that it's not, that I did not do this. It wasn't like he got quiet and then came out and said, okay, hey, and then confessed to it, or got quiet and hasn't said anything about it. No, he still says, no, I didn't fucking do this. This is bullshit. So...
Here is about Alabama law. It's too late for Moore's name to be taken off the ballot. according to a spokesman for the Alabama Secretary of State office. But even if the Republican Party notifies the Secretary of State that it has withdrawn its nomination, his name has to remain on the ballot. In that case, even if Moore receives the most votes, he will not be certified the winner. As you know, it has to be certified a winner. Legal counsel in the Secretary of State's office interprets state law to require that a new special election must be ordered. That would happen if Moore withdrew from the race. A new special election would have to be ordered regardless. So it just, basically, Alabama has a sore loser law that prohibits a losing candidate from running on another party line for the same office he lost, not as a write-in candidate. So that's kind of a neat thing. So, but I mean, literally, they think that he's come out with, and then he's, also this jackass says, I've never engaged in sexual misconduct. Well, have you ever engaged in sex, you piece of jerk? I mean, he said in an interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity on his radio show Friday.
Oh, and by the way, people are dropping, advertisers are dropping.
From
ditching
Fox.
Hannity.
Oh, yeah.
For his coverage of the alleged pursuit of teens.
Literally, this guy has committed fraud. He is not a judge anymore. He has not been a judge in years.
Right.
He has committed, what's the word I'm looking for? Allegations of misconduct on the bench.
Right.
And they want him. This is just like, and I was reading this too. This freaking, a federal judicial nominee, a person that they're going to put in for a federal judicial nominee, forgive me, who they are trying to get to be a federal judge. He has never tried a case and has been advanced by a Senate committee. 36-year-old Brett Talley, which features a JD from Harvard, which is a judicial degree, but has limited experience as an attorney. I'm sorry, but Marshall on How I Met Your Mother had more experience than this guy. You need to try at least one or two cases.
Right.
Indeed, answering a questionnaire for judicial nominees, Talley said, I have not tried a case.
That qualifies
So a partisan vote, of course, the Republicans move him up. Before the Senate committed its meeting, the American Bar Association had unanimously deemed Talley not qualified for his nomination to preside over a federal court in, guess where? Alabama. You graduated from law school only 10 years ago, and you've spent a small time since practicing law. What have you been doing? Jerking off all over yourself? He started off as the Deputy Solicitor General for the Alabama Attorney General's office and a writer for Mitt Romney's presidential campaign and then a speechwriter for Senator Rob Portman of Ohio. Come on.
What's wrong with that?
Then, this just makes it even better. A month after a gunman killed 20 children at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, Talley described efforts by the Obama administration to advance gun control legislation as follows, and I quote, "The president and his Democratic allies in Congress are about to launch the greatest attack on our constitutional freedoms in our lifetime." That almost brings up another point of the shooting that was at the church.
Right.
Recently. Okay? As people know, I am not the most religious person in the world. Me and the good Lord upstairs do not have a very good relationship. But those people came there on a Sunday morning. Or no, it wasn't. No, it was like a fair or something, like some kind of event. Or was it church? Was it church service?
I honestly do not know.
This guy who had a problem with his mother-in-law. Okay, this guy, I don't remember his name. But he goes there, and this is true fact. He beat his stepson.
Okay.
Who was a baby. Or a toddler. He had mental health problems. Mm-hmm. But yet, Congress just recently eased restrictions for people with mental health to get a gun. Because, my God, they got to shoot at the frickin' voices in their head. Anyways.
This is what they constantly say anytime one of these incidents happens. It's mental health issues, not about guns. They say this constantly every time one of these things happens. No, we should not be talking about guns. It's mental health problems. They say mental health problems more times than I've ever fucking heard when any of these
I'll agree with
issues
him. They do have a point. I agree with him.
Yes, it is. But then let's do something about mental health problems, you guys.
Exactly. And I'll agree with him on one thing. The gun itself can't do a goddamn thing. But that's not the point.
Right.
Is when you have someone, if you're pissed at me enough to shoot me, you're
Right.
going to find a way to shoot me.
Exactly.
When you have idiots like this who have mental health problems who hurt his stepson.
Yeah.
He had a problem with his mother-in-law. 4 days before he was there at the church festival. People were there like going, oh, wow, we haven't seen you in a while. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm looking for my mother-in-law. She wasn't there.
Yeah.
4 days later, church comes up. He shoots 20 people.
Right.
Once again, if it's someone who is black or brown or Muslim, oh my God, we need to keep those people away from our country. But if he's white,
Yeah.
well, you know, I don't know how this happened.
I think
but
they just needed to probably, decrease his meds a little. I mean, come on. Who hasn't wanted to do that, I mean, they come up with all these excuses and shit.
I'm sick and tired of these damn excuses. I'm sick and tired. The prayers ain't going to help people.
Well,
We
I'm
need
sorry.
action.
Yes, and you know what? Obviously, all of us feel bad when something like this happens. Well, our thoughts and prayers go to the... Okay, that's, great, fine. But what fucking good does that do if we don't do something about it to keep it from happening again? Do we want this to just continue every week? Mm-hmm. It's becoming a fucking normalcy here.
And I don't really care for it. I don't like it. I don't like sitting hearing this stuff. That's why I want to watch the news. I really don't. But to continue with the sexual harassment talk, as we we're getting about half an hour, so we got to get to the box office here real soon.
But I'd like to say something
Please do.
about it.
Go right ahead. I got a little excited.
You
I'm
were
sorry.
pointing out people who have stepped aside from him. A lot of people in his party. Is it Lisa Murkowski? She's one here, along with fucking Ted Cruz, who, he's like the guy. He's like the guy in the movie Dragnet. Yeah, he's like the guy in the movie Dragnet that when Dan Aykroyd says, "Oh, we don't have to open the door. We'll just leave it closed. Anybody to defend you would just ooze right under it or whatever."
Yeah, exactly.
That's Ted Cruz. He would ooze right under it because he's so slimy.
He eats hair.
He eats hair.
It's great now and again.
He has a
need a
bogle
bogle
for
the
his
glotch.
glotch. He said that this is ridiculous. These are disturbing allegations. If they're true, the guy needs to go. The guy needs to step aside and be done. Yeah. He said this. Marco Rubio said this. Lisa Murkowski. So there are people, and like you said, Mitch McConnell, the turtle. I mean, they're saying that no, this is pretty fucked up actually, and yeah. And then Sean Hannity's talking about how he needs to. Well, I don't know how you prove this.
Really?
And then he goes, well, when I was doing it, I mean.
Yeah. Here is something that is actually coming out that I find slightly hilarious. Apparently, there is a movement now coming out called #MeAt14.
#Mawa.
Internet 14-year-olds are innocent, immature, and unable to consent. And literally, it's called #NoMore. MOORE.
Oh, that is actually
It's very, yeah.
Oh, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
There is someone who said, #MeAt14, obviously ready to have a romantic relationship with a full-grown attorney. #Roy Moore, child molester. There, I'm not going to go through that, but that was, there's some other ones. Shouldn't be allowed to dress myself, certainly, and not allowed to consent. Just in case if there's any doubt, a 14-year-old is a child. Another one, I wouldn't say this kid is ready to date, more than double her age. It's funny because people, 14, you need that. And this is a terrible, terrible thing that is showing off. But then you sit there and say that people go the other way, literally go the liberal way. What about Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
He basically likes to pull out his dick and jerk off over everybody.
What's wrong? What's wrong with that? Come on.
What's wrong with that?
Go home and do it. Come on,
After
Louis.
5 female comics accused Louis C.K. of inappropriate behavior involving masturbation, the comedian has admitted the stories are true.
Yeah.
He never denied it.
No.
Literally,
Well, again, when it happened, when the story broke, He was quiet, obviously, and then like within like 2 or 3 days, he came forward and was just like, "Yeah, all these allegations are true."
But it was never denied.
Yeah.
He never denied
He's
it.
like,
there
I
wasn't
did it.
somebody in his
Yeah.
camp saying, "You know what?
No, nobody did.
Nobody did.
No,
no one.
He's come forward and he
come
made
over-
an apology,
Right.
and is
look-
now saying, "I'm step away from the spotlight because now I need to
not only-
fucking look at what I."
Not only that, you've seen what the penalty has been. HBO canceled his show.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
HBO
huge.
dropped
So
his
did
show.
FX.
FX dropped his show. His movie
And
got
he was
canceled.
he was a producer on so many
He
stuff
is
too.
losing
Yeah,
big time just because he couldn't keep his hand off his own prick.
I still think he's really fucking funny.
He's funny. Well, yeah. But,
He's got some issues.
yeah,
I
he's
mean,
got some issues.
but okay, and I'm not defending this.
No.
I'm not saying it's okay to go do what he did. Fuck no, of course not. But
No.
he didn't go try to fuck a 14-year-old girl, then have the other people fucking defend him and say, well, he was just kind of, Jesus, was born from that. And like this Jim Ziegler, you didn't talk about this. This Jim Ziegler said this about that, about him and a Republican from, I don't know where he's from, Jim Ziegler.
I don't know. off the top of my head.
He came in and said basically that Joseph and Mary. Joseph was an older man, well, in his 30s, a carpenter, and when he got with Mary, and didn't fuck her, pardon my French, but didn't have sex with her because she was a virgin, but she was pregnant, as the story goes in the Bible. Mary was what, 16 in the Bible?
I don't think they actually tell her age.
Oh, they don't
honestly.
say it?
I
Okay.
don't believe so.
Well, he says she's a teenager. This is a man who's an older man and is a carpenter, and that's how Jesus was born. So he compares Roy Moore's allegations to the story in the Bible of Jesus' birth. And then he says how it's not illegal, it's a little unusual. So basically he's condoning it. He's saying it's okay for somebody to go fucking do this to a 14-year-old girl because the story in the Bible said pretty much that it was okay. It's a little unusual. That's what he said. It's a little unusual, but it's not illegal. Where is this not fucking illegal?
Yeah. It's yeah.
And even if it's not illegal, it's morally wrong to do this. Come on.
Unreal.
I just can't believe that they're so cool. It was funny because I was talking to Diane about this. We were saying if Obama had ever done anything like this, can you imagine how much
Oh,
the
good
Republican
Lord.
Party would rip his shit?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I totally agree with you. There's nothing going around that. But
It's just the double standard that I just get sick of.
Oh,
That
yeah.
They always claim liberals are responsible for the double standard.
No.
These guys are the fucking definition of double standard.
well, that was an interesting first segment all the way around.
No, it wasn't.
Whatever. We come back.
Hashtag
It's going to
Mala.
be. We're going to come back. Box office time on its way right here on the Bull Session podcast.
Excellent.
Don't go too far away. Hey, it's box office time. See, I'm trying to do something a little different. Throw some music in there.
No, you're not.
Put some stuff on. I think it works out nicely. As long as I hit the record button. Okay, I did.
It didn't.
No, I did. I'm notorious for not doing hidden
Porn.
recording. Box office numbers, as you know, we like going to talk about a few movies. If you want to follow along, boxofficemojo.com is where we get our information from. And we do the top 15 as usual, not just the top 10, the top 15. We start off today with the number 15 movie, Victorian Abdul. $675,000. In 8 weeks, made $21.1 million. No budget listed for this. So,
That's
this is the one with Judi Dench, Dame Judi Dench, and I can't remember his name.
Did you say
I'm sorry.
Dame Judi Dench?
Yes, that's what we have to call her, is Dame Judi Dench, because she has been knighted by the Queen, and so she is worth that title. Yes.
If I ever met her, I would not say, "Hey, Dame Judi Dench."
Number 14, down from 11 this week, The Foreigner with Pierce Brosnan and Jackie Chan.
This was really good. I saw this.
$750,000. How was it? Because I wanted to see this, and it looks like it's going to be kind of out of theaters.
It's a good
Good revenge
action drama. Yeah, Jackie Chan does very well.
Dramedy.
But if you're looking for just like balls out Jackie Chan doing crazy stunts and stuff, it's not it.
No.
But he does some cool stuff.
But this was the first movie he's done in years, too.
American. He's done a lot of movies over in China. But yeah.
But the premise looks good. It looks
It's based
really
off
good.
a novel called The Chinaman, actually. Yeah. And Pierce Brosnan is really good in this movie.
Yeah.
He
plays a Sinn Féin. Or he plays
a
member of Parliament
who's
ex Sinn Féin or ex.
And so he's kind of trying to keep the
that
treaty with Ireland and the UK and everything, and so he's
which
trying
is
not
still
to
to this
offend,
day a very touchy
and
subject.
it's very it's walking on eggshells. But he's fired up through this whole movie. His character, he does a great job in it. Him and Jackie Chan almost have pretty much equal screen time too. So
good chemistry between the two, you think?
Yeah, when they come together to when they're kind of against each other. But Pierce Brosnan's not necessarily a bad guy, but he's not really like a good guy. He's not a bad guy either. So it's just it's complicated, and it makes the characters complicated, which it was well done.
They've made domestically $33.4 million. Guess how much they've made foreignly?
It's like
$88.4 million. $121 million. So they made his budget. Hands down. $35 million budget.
And he probably got
I was a little worried
when he was in China.
Oh yeah, I'll bet you anything this is doing like excellent numbers, especially in China, which is we know where he's from. Number 13, down from number 8, called Thank You for Your Service.
Have you heard anything about this?
I have not, but it is tanking like you wouldn't believe.
I'm really surprised.
$895,000 this week. It is 3 weeks on the countdown. It's made $9.1 million domestically.
Okay.
Its budget was $20 million, so it's not doing all that well. There is no overseas numbers reported, so
it's pretty unknown as far as people in it, as it's kind of up and coming actors in it.
Miles Teller, Haley Bennett, Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer is probably the most known of those three.
I didn't even know Amy Schumer was in it. I knew, Miles Teller, and then Haley Bennett was from. She was in Magnificent Seven, and she was in the one with Emily Blunt last year that got some notification because it was based off the novel, The Girl on the Train. She was in that.
Okay,
and
I never saw that. So
yeah, it was pretty good. It's okay.
Number 12, Only the Brave, $950,000.
What is this about?
I have no clue.
Oh, it's the Fireman movie.
Oh yeah, the Fireman movie.
With firefighters in California.
Yep. $17.1 million total in 4 weeks. The budget was $38 million, so it's not really recouping well.
It's kind of funny.
Overseas, it's only made $1.6 million. So right now, it's going
these movies. What's funny is these movies, like 5 or even 6 years ago, used to be big box office hits. The get behind either the cops or the firemen or doctors or our military. Get behind them, watch a movie.
People are starting to.
People are just kind of getting bored with this.
Well, I think it's the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
They're really pushing, not that I'm against it, but they're really pushing the patriotism.
Yeah, they are.
Of it, and it's like people are now like, well, yeah, that's great, but we want something that's patriotic and entertaining.
Yeah.
And a lot of times patriotic movies sometimes are not entertaining.
Well, if they push the patriotic more than they push the entertainment, I think then it gets, if it's obvious what they're trying to do, then it turns, I think, whether you're conservative, liberal, middle, it turns both parties away, I think.
Number 11, Let There Be Light, from ADC Pictures, $1.2 million. It's made $6 million in 3 weeks.
What is this movie?
Once again, no clue. You are more the
I don't
the movie buff than I am.
Let There Be Light.
It's Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, fuck him.
So
He's such a fucking douchebag in real life.
honestly, there is no budget numbers, no foreign numbers, so I'm gonna call this one probably dead in the water. Number 9,
looks like something that would be on fucking Hallmark because that's the only movies he does.
Yeah, number 9, down from the number 6 spot, Happy Deathday. From Universal, $1.3 million.
What about this Lady Bird?
Did I skip one? I'm sorry. Number 10, I'm sorry, Lady Bird, $1.25 million.
I do not know what this is either.
$1.8 million. Honestly, I don't know either.
I don't
Let's
know
find
what it
out.
is.
As we get on, you hear us typing
It's not a porno.
furiously.
Greta Gerwig is the director. That's interesting. Saoirse Ronan's in it, and Tracy Letts.
Laurie Metcalf is in it as well.
Okay,
Greta. You know who Laurie Metcalf is? She played Sheldon's mother on Big Bang
Roseanne.
Theory. She was in Roseanne. She's coming back for that.
Jackie,
Jackie,
Roseanne's sister. This Greta Gerwig is actually a really good actress. This must be like a directorial debut from her because she's
set in the early 2000s. The film follows the young life of a young woman living in Sacramento over a year.
Saoirse Ronan is the girl that's in it. She's
Laurie
an
Metcalf. Lucas Hedges. That sounds familiar.
Irish actress.
It's by A24, which is now becoming a bigger studio now.
You know what I was thinking when I first saw the title, that it was about Lady Bird Johnson.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, they have LBJ, and LBJ actually dropped from the number 14 spot down to number 19.
I don't even think LBJ's everywhere yet.
$2 million. That's all it's made.
Well, I don't even think it's nationwide yet.
No. It seems like there's less screens as it says here now. Number 9, Happy Deathday. That's made $54 million in 5 weeks.
I actually heard that was fun.
Number 8, I'm glad this movie's sticking it out, but I'm disappointed in its numbers. Blade Runner 2049 from Warner Brothers made 1.4 this week. In 6 weeks on the countdown, it made $88 million. That's domestically, mind you. Let's see what the foreign numbers say.
Foreign's 155.
155, and then it's made its budget.
It's
the budget
starting
was
to make its stuff back. I mean, you got to figure advertising, and foreign takes a cut.
Foreign takes a cut too, so they're probably just about making their budget now. Number 7 movie.
I still haven't seen it. Have you?
No, I have not.
I really want to see
I need to re-see the first one again because I've been forever since I've seen that movie. Number 7 is Geostorm, the terrible. That movie looks so stupid. Gerard Butler, what are you doing?
I think it looks really good.
Yeah, you're lying through your teeth. $1.5 million in 4 weeks has made $31.6 million on a $120 million budget. I'm going to call it a bomb. Just from that. I mean, you have to recoup something there, and I doubt domestically they will. Number 6, Tyler Perry's Boo 2, a Medina Halloween.
Robin after they got married.
Boo 2 or the first one?
They saw the first one, and they just saw this one too.
What did
right
they
after
think?
They got married. They laugh at him. They think those
I don't
movies are
think
funny.
he's funny. I really don't. I don't like these movies. I don't like him. Literally, I thought his best role he ever had, his best role I ever saw him in, was when he had his cameo in Star Trek Into Darkness, and it was like 5 minutes long.
Oh, what was
he was an admiral on the board.
Oh, that's right.
He was in it for like 5 minutes.
I will say that
now,
I never
saw Alex Cross.
He actually is not bad in that.
Yeah.
I actually think he can act when he wants to, but he's made
these movies make more money. I mean, they really do.
But here's the thing too. He's also got his whole studios and stuff, and I think he's from Atlanta.
And Atlanta gives huge tax breaks to anyone that works down there.
He's also got
in the film and television.
But he's got like his hands on like TV shows galore.
He has, I think, 3 or 4 TV shows on
and he's
TBS.
got movies out all the time.
And
then the movies that he has that do well, they get series on his studio. So he's just got that guy's just rolling.
$45.9 million in 4 weeks. The budget was $25 million. Obviously, it's not going to be a big hitter. Number 5, down from the number 3 spot, Jigsaw, which is a carry-on of the Saw movies, apparently.
Which
just
all fucking stupid.
Just need to stop. The first one actually.
The first one is okay.
The first one is interesting. It's a good idea.
Good idea.
And the first
not
one you can even
executed
say is
very well.
Yeah, it's like Obamacare, just not executed. executed very well. But then it's just
2
like, okay.
was still pretty.
Yeah, and then you just start getting. Yeah, it just goes downhill.
Stupid 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's fucking 8 of these.
There's 7,
and now this is the
and this would be
9th.
8.
This is the
I think
8th.
This is 8 now. Yeah.
God, stop.
Stop.
And he's been dead since like part 3.
I know.
But he left the tape, and then this guy found another fucking tape, and I don't give a shit. And the whole reasons he was killing the people. I'm sorry, I'm going off a tangent on these, but I have to say this. The only reason, like you said, the idea was cool, but then they do this stupid shit now where he's just like, he's punishing people who took milk money when they were like 7 in fucking middle school. It's like, well, you took the milk money, Jimmy. Now you're gonna have to pay the price. Let's play a game. It's like, really? You're punishing this fucking guy that 20 years ago took milk money from some fucking what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who wrote this? A 6-year-old?
Number 4. Number 2 movie last week, A Bad Mom's Christmas, $11.5 million.
No, isn't this the
39.8,
sequel to Bad Mom?
Yes.
Wasn't it called Bad Moms?
Has
It's
Mila
what's
Kunis,
Kristen Bell's in
Kristen
it.
Bell and
Mila Kunis and Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
Is it
They
just
were
them
on
3?
Yeah, they were on Price is Right just recently promoting the movie.
Who was telling me Price is Right coming to Omaha?
Yes, I'm going. Price is Right Live is coming to
I
Ralston
thought
Arena.
Diane told me February 7th.
February.
Yeah.
And tickets are not out yet. If you guys are going, I'm going.
She would say she wanted to go.
I'm going.
Why?
I'm going.
Is Drew Carey going to be there?
No.
Oh.
No. Come on, please. Do you think Drew Carey's going to come to Omaha?
Well,
he
why
can't
is
even
it
do his
coming?
job in
Why-
LA.
Why is it coming?
It's a rotating show. It's just a show that comes all
Oh,
the time.
okay.
Yeah, they go
Well, then
all over
who's
the country.
hosting it?
I don't know.
They gonna
Not a lot of
get
details.
Bob
around
Barker?
yet. No, Bob Barker. Yeah, the corpse of Bob Barker. No,
He's like
96.
He's still going strong.
He's 96 years old.
Is he 96?
93 or 96.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
He's up there. We better continue. We're never going to get this done. Number 3, Murder on the Orient Express, $28.2 million
Debuted, didn't it, this weekend?
Debut.
28 million.
That actually looks really good. Now,
I think it looks kind of good.
I like Hercule Poirot. I love the show. And David Suchet.
I like Kenneth Branagh. He's a good actor. And he's a decent director.
David Suchet played Hercule Poirot, like literally on PBS for some, like 15 years, and he wanted to get through every single book that basically Agatha Christie wrote, and he did that.
Oh, okay.
So then you have now a new take on the Murder on the Orient Express. With Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh is a great director. He's a good actor. He's a very good character actor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see on this. And Johnny Depp is actually the one that gets killed.
Yeah, he's
that
the
I know
gangster that they have.
Yeah, and
that
so
is
it's
centered
got a
around.
pretty big.
It's getting pretty good reviews.
Getting pretty good reviews from what I understand.
It is. And 28 million's decent.
Yeah. Number 2 on the list, another debut, Daddy's Home 2.
Yeah.
With Marky Mark and Will Ferrell.
This came out quick. It just seems like Daddy's Home 1 was just out.
Yeah, it was just out.
I think it was like 2 years ago. 2 Christmases ago.
$30 million, of course, first week.
I saw my parents this morning, and they said that they saw it and they thought it was really funny, but they said that John Lithgow, I guess, is hilarious in it.
Really?
But see, they like
my cousin worked with him.
They like stuff like this. They like
those funny,
just kind of simple comedies. But they said he's hilarious, and they said John
movie
Lithgow
for the second week in a row, and I know why, because I saw it during the day it opened.
Brian said it was funny.
Thor Ragnarok, it's hilarious.
Is
it is really funny. It's a
he said it's almost like Guardians as far as like the humor goes.
Yeah, it really, because if you see the first two are good movies.
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one.
They're good movies, but they're just kind of like.
They're
and
okay.
then a lot of the Marvel movies have like
Youngest
Thunder. They seem to have like they're just the bland humor, like, and then you get like Iron Man stuff that have like subtle kind of like fun, and then with action, and really this kind of brings it back. And Kate Blanchett as the bad guy.
Oh, is she the bad? Okay,
she is the bad
villain?
guy, and she is freaking amazing in this movie. Also the girl she was on Westworld, you said her name, Tessa.
Oh, Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson's in it. She's really good.
She was in Creed.
Carl
She's
Urban.
on Westworld.
Carl Urban was in it.
Carl Urban's in it?
He's
Who's he
in
playing
it.
in it?
I don't know his name, but I don't want to give it away because you haven't seen it yet. $56.6 million in 2 weeks. The domestic take has been $211.5 million on a $180 million budget.
Yeah, well,
so the first week
do
alone, they nearly made its budget. And then foreign numbers.
Those movies do.
They do.
It'll probably make $1 billion after
It's coming up
foreign-
here.
foreign
Foreign
comes
numbers
in.
right now are at $438.5 million.
Damn.
So, I mean, its opening weekend was $122.7 million. Jesus. That's insane. That is freaking insane money.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's a good movie. Mark Ruffalo is good in it. He plays the Hulk.
Is there a lot
Jeff
of action
Goldblum.
and stuff
There
in
is.
it?
It's funny. It kind of brings like Thor into like a new light. You know,
Okay.
kind of stronger powers and whatever. And something happens in there that you don't catch. You know, in the previews.
They
and
catch the
whatnot.
Hulk jerking off.
Pretty much, Hulk
Catch the Hulk twisting one down.
Hulk twist one off.
He's like, Hulk, ejaculate.
We're grooving out to game show music today. Is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that is from Body Language. Great show from the 80s.
Is it?
80s. Earlier we had the Gong Show theme was the other
that
one
the
you were
Gong Show?
grooving to. No, that was the other one you were grooving to. So
I was grooving.
welcome back, Bull Session Podcast Part 3. We got through the movies. We got through sexual harassment allegations. We've done a lot today, but there's more to come. That's right, as we get into Part 3 of the program.
Part 3.
And I found the blog I was looking to about the gay candidate for the mayor of Houston was the town.
Okay.
And I'm reading this and I'm quoting this from my blog. You can go there. It is Rantings of a Delusional Wannabe Game Show Host at Buck Russell. Blogger.buckrussell.com or buckrussell.blogger.com. Here it is. I'm just going to read a little bit of it.
Excellent.
Why is it when someone who is gay or lesbian, people automatically believe they will be the destruction of the American family? Idiots go against them, even if they are highly qualified and can do the job with grace and favor. I'm talking about this time. Granted, this was from like 2009. All right.
Okay.
I'm talking about this time. The race for the mayor of the city of Houston, Anise Parker, who has been in politics for years, started as a gay activist. She's never denied being homosexual, but she's never made an issue of it.
Okay.
The anti-gay establishment has turned on the heat by putting on anti-gay rhetoric to convince the public that she should not be mayor, not because she's qualified, it's because she's gay. Some of this stuff is being said and just stupid. This is examples from the AP article on You at the time. A longtime anti-gay activist who once led a successful prohibit benefits for the domestic partners of city employees sent out 34,000 mailers opposing Parker. The flyer shows a picture of Parker being sworn in as controller with her partner by her side. The headline says, "Is this the image Houston wants to portray?" This is my quote. What image is that? She's next to her partner being sworn in? This makes no sense. A Houston area pastor council also discouraged voters from choosing Parker, saying she's an open advocate of the gay agenda. This is what I want to know. What is the gay agenda? Will someone frickin' tell me? Why can't people take them for their merits or their accomplishments? When does the bedroom come into play? There are plenty of straight people who do some freaky shit in the bedroom, but that never spills into their work life because they're straight. That's just discrimination. This discrimination happened before. It was called racism. This version is just more accepted.
Fake news.
At the time, her opponent never made an issue of her sexual orientation. He's condemned the idea, but there's one thing: he's still taking money from those idiots. That was a quote. Now, like I said, that was 2009 when I did this.
That was 2009?
2009.
Damn. Okay.
So, and if you look about her, she went a full term, 2 full terms as mayor of Houston.
Okay.
So Houston's not a small town.
No, it's not.
By far. So, it makes it's pretty impressive that someone could do that, but then you still have the idiots.
Yeah.
What's really funny is I'm watching a show on Netflix right now. It's called Father Brown. And you don't know much about the Harry Potter universe. The guy that plays Ron Weasley's father, Mark Williams, plays the title character, and he's Catholic.
Okay.
He's a Catholic priest in the, I think it's post-World War II England.
Okay.
I believe 1950 or 1955. It's after Korea. And he is a very, smart person. He deduces everything. He's kind of, very quiet, but he's just very, intelligent. More than the people around him. He's the one that tends to solve these mysteries or murders or whatnot. And,
Okay.
and there was one character that was transsexual. He was dressing up in women's clothes. So, and the one thing that I thought was cool about it, coming from being, he's Catholic, he never said that, what you're doing is wrong.
Right.
He said, "Come to God, ask for forgiveness, and you'll be you know."
Right.
And he even met someone who was trans. I would assume it was a guy dressing up in a dress, And Father Brown introduced himself as Father Brown, and the person I think introduced herself as I don't know. We'll say Lisa. I can't remember her name, but he shook her hand and said, "It's a pleasure to meet you."
Okay.
He treated everyone as they were equal, and I wish more people would do that in this day and age because, I know a lot of I mean, my wife's best friend, our best friends, two I mean, a very close couple of ours, lesbian couple.
Right.
We have two other friends who just got engaged. They're a lesbian couple. They got engaged. Congratulations to them.
Who was that?
Kimmy and Kelsey did.
Oh, did they really?
Yes, they did. Which I think is freaking amazing. That they don't have to hide that they can love each
Right,
other in
right.
this day and age, which I think is amazing. But there are people that out there that it's an abomination. It's against the Bible. Well, there's a lot of shit behind that's against the Bible, and you know what? You're not doing yourself money favors, but if you're going to use that argument. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what you believe or what you think. It's when you come to the end and it's
Right.
time to cash your check.
Right.
How you're going to leave your tip is going to be the way that, no one judges anyone but whoever made you.
Yeah.
So, let's get off this religious discussion and go
Why not?
Let's go to something else that is really going to help out the great American people. Taxes. That's right. The Republicans have decided to try to cut our taxes when really what they've decided to do is give their own a fucking taxes break. Tax break. Quote,
they
John
won't do
Yisdi
that. They're
from
not gonna do
NPR
that.
says
They
when
won't do
Republicans
that.
began assembling their tax overhaul proposals, they're aiming to make them revenue neutral. The tax cuts could not lead to increased deficits. Holding the line on deficits has been a long goal of the Republican deficit hawks. Literally, but that goes in memory. Both the House and Senate proposals provide overall tax cuts in the 1.5 trillion range over the next decade. That's good, right? But you have to offset tax breaks with revenue somewhere else. So more than likely, the tax cuts will add about $1.5 trillion to the national debt. A Republican from Arizona, Senator Jeff Flake, released a statement expressing
He's the
concern.
one that basically is done with Trump.
Yeah.
Said that he's not going to stay and fight, though. He's quitting.
Quote, the current tax reform proposal will grow the already staggering national debt. The debt is currently more than $20 trillion. Flake suggested that adding another $1.5 trillion more to the debt over the next 10 years would threaten the economy. It just amazes me that literally they want to, in the top 1%, get a higher tax break.
Right.
Here, let's go to this chart. This probably would be very helpful. This is what happens, okay? They want to cut down the tax brackets to smaller things, okay?
Okay.
If you are single and you make more than $418,000 or $416,000, or the tax brackets. Currently, if you're making more than $416,000, you're in one bracket. If you're making $191,000 and change, that's another bracket. You're making $190,000 or $91,000 is another bracket. $37,000 is another bracket, and then $9,000 is another bracket. So there's 6 tax brackets. What I'm seeing here. The Republicans in the House, this is if you're single, have decided to change that in the House. Change it to 4 tax brackets. That sounds good, right?
Right.
What's the first tax bracket? Anybody making more than $500,000.
What? Wow.
The second tax bracket.
Hey, that's everybody is right now.
Wait.
He's moved the economy in such a great place. We all are making so much money. I'm tired of winning. I am.
The second tax bracket is from people making $200,000 to $500,000 a year.
Okay.
The third tax bracket is from everyone that is making $45,000 to $200,000.
Okay.
The third tax bracket is everybody making less than $445,000.
Which is pretty much 80% of the
80%
country.
of the country.
Right now.
If in the Senate, now the Senate basically does almost the same thing, but they put the first bracket above 500,000 above, the second bracket between 200 to 500, the third bracket between 170 and 200, the fourth bracket from 60 to 170, the next one from 38.7 to 60, And the next one from 95 to 38, and then 95 and less is another one.
Okay.
The Senate has a better, I think, the better thing in the bracket end of things.
Okay.
Okay. This is what happens. The House, they're both calling it the Tax and Jobs Act. This is what our House of Representatives has decided to do. The current law in 2018, single taxpayers would deduct $6,500 and married couple would deduct $13,000. Then taxpayers can add in exemptions, $4,150 for each qualifying person, including yourself. For a single person, this comes out to be about $10,600. In a hypothetical two-parent home with 2 kids, it would come out to be about $13,000 plus 4 times $4,150 or $26,900.
Okay.
Or $29,600, excuse me. Okay, this is the standard deduction. The House. The single taxpayer would deduct $12,000 as head of household, or $12,000. Head of household will be $18,000, and married couple will deduct $24,000. That's it.
Wow.
So a single person would deduct $12,000, not $10,600. The single person would deduct $18,000, not $17,600. Meanwhile, two-parent home would get the $24,000 deduction, but not $29,600. They would also get a bigger child tax credit. In other words, the standard deduction plus exemptions would be smaller with families with multiple children than it was before. A nearly doubled standardized deduction would mean fewer taxpayers itemizing their deductions, which Republicans argue would make it easier to do their taxes.
Right.
No, that means that it'll be easier for idiots to do their taxes. Take it to someone to get it done. The Senate leaves everything, the Senate changes to deductions are exactly the same as the House bill.
Yeah.
For parents, the current law, taxpayers deduct a set amount, $4,150 per child, and then applying the tax rate by subtracting up to $1,000 per child from the final tax bill. Employees can exclude up to $5,000 in employer-provided dependent health care assistance programs from their income. There's also an adoption tax credit of $13,750. House Act. Taxpayer would not get any exemptions for their children. They would, however, get a larger tax credit of $1,600. I'm sorry, but that's like losing a considerable amount of tax breaks. The House will also initially eliminate the $5,000 exclusion for dependent care assistance and repealed the adoption tax credit, but later amendments restored both. The Senate would not apply exemptions, but would benefit a child tax credit up to $1,650. Senate plan also includes a non-refundable $500 credit for non-child dependents. The Senate plan also maintains the current dependent care exclusion and adopting credit. So in that response, the Senate seems to be winning. 401ks, taxpayers contribute up to $18,500 in pre-tax income to 401ks. In the House, does not change, or that does not change at all. Okay,
That doesn't change in the House. Okay.
Or the Senate.
Okay.
Current law: tax filers who itemize deductions can deduct different types of state and local taxes from their taxable income. In the House, they could still deduct property taxes, but not anything else, like income or sales tax. Okay. They'd only be able to deduct up to $10,000. Senate, state and local tax deductions, including property taxes, would be repealed. So then I think in that place the Senate is worse. Estate tax. This is the big one. Okay. The current law, taxes may be paid on any estate with assets more than $5.6 million a year or $11.2 million per married couple. The tax rate on those assets ranges from 18 to 40%. The House, the tax exemption will double. From $5.6 million to $11.2 million.
That doesn't sound right.
After 6 years, the estate tax will be eliminated entirely.
Okay.
Senate, the estate tax would double, meaning individual estates will be taxed on assets more than $11.2 million, but it will not eliminate the estate tax. That is where one of the biggest things is working forward of rich people, or the 1%, or the wealthy.
Yeah.
Tell me anything that I've just read that will help out you or I when they're changing the tax credit for children.
Everything.
They're changing the tax credit. It's literally. Excuse me. Homeowners can deduct up to $1 million of their mortgage principal. The House Act limited up to $500,000. Mortgages in second homes would no longer be deductible. The Senate seems to be okay. Large medical expenses. The taxpayers can deduct the cost of out-of-pocket medical expenses if it exceeds 10% of their taxpayers' AGI, or adjusted gross income.
Okay.
The House, that repeals. The Senate stays in place. College students, here's another one. A variety of tax policies that give them tuition reductions or waivers. Workers may exclude up to $5,200 employer-provided education assistance. Tax credits include American Opportunity Tax Credit, Hope Scholarship Credit, Lifetime Learning Credit, which is things I got when I went to college.
Right.
House Act. House plan would eliminate Hope Scholarship, Lifetime Learning, and but expand the American Opportunity Tax Credit. Tuition waivers or employee assistance would be eliminated. Senate promised education relief for graduate students. I'm sorry, but not everybody goes to graduate school. They just want a damn degree.
Well,
you know,
I thought that was pretty much everybody.
It makes me sick to see that literally they want to give the biggest tax break of all.
Yes.
To the 1% that can afford that $11.2 million. What is the difference? Oh my God, you have to pay 40% on $11 million. Can you tell me what 40% of $11 million is? That's $4.4 million.
Is it even that?
Oh my God, you can't. Okay. That leaves you with $7.6 million. Oh my goodness, me and Buffy can't afford the $4.4 million in taxes just because we were going to use that money to buy ourselves
another gold
toilet. Or we were going to have dinner with the Vandenbergs. And we were going to have them. Come on, people.
And drink our hot toddies.
And make sure that me and Buffy and Hildegard are all making sure that we're not touching ourselves.
Hildegard?
You know, I don't know. It was from Bosom Buddies, but
Bosom Buddies.
But honestly, 4.4 million.
I'm so glad we went an entire show with you. You know, fuck. Can we go one entire show where you don't bring up Bosom Buddies? My God,
it's a great
man.
show. Peter Scolari, Tom Hanks. It was wonderful. But seriously, that would be if you had $11 million estate,
right?
And at 40%, I think was the maximum that it was taxed.
Okay,
that is $4.4 million.
Right.
That leaves you with $7.6 million. If you won $11 million in the lottery and you had to pay $4.4 million in taxes, could you, sir, live off $7.6 million?
Well, I don't know. I just...
Seriously, I think everybody could live off $7.6 million because we don't hire people to hold our penises when we're fucking taking a piss. We're
reminds
not
me
paying someone to wipe their asses to take a shit.
It reminds me of in Coming to America at the beginning when he's in the pool and everybody's doing everything for him, and then they say, "Open your mouth, spit," and he opens his mouth, and they take the toothbrush and they brush one side, and then the other girl's on the other side and brushes the other side. It's like.
And the girl comes out of the water and goes, "The royal penis is clean."
Yeah. And he's like,
yeah. I mean, seriously, that is the most egregious thing because
it's pretty bad.
Normal people, you and I,
right? That's what America is, though. Is normal. Well, not all of us, obviously, but majority of Americans, 60% of Americans, are in the same boat as you and I.
Yeah.
As far as what we make, or whether you work a part-time job and you work, or you do a full-time job and a part-time job, or you just do one full-time job, or you pick up, another like cleaning on the side or something like that, or whatever, like my brother does sometimes. But you know what I mean? We all have to. Everybody that I know that works a full-time job can barely afford to fucking live.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of this whole middle class. How did they not see this?
My wife owns her own business.
Right.
Okay. She does not pay payroll taxes.
We're not in middle class.
No.
We're in almost.
I would say lower middle class.
Yeah, lower middle class, because
I serve tables.
Most people have to get like a part-time second job on top of their full-time job to make any kind of ends meet. And I'm not talking about having some big house or anything. I'm talking about people who live in apartments. I'm talking about people who live in apartments, have a car payment like most people do, is not eating out every night, is not going to the bars every night, is barely going once a month, is cutting back on shit and still cannot live.
Yeah. We've cut out considerably, and it's now that we are not hurting by far. There's food in my fridge. My bills are getting paid.
Right.
But there are just some times when you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
am I going to be able to do anything? Can I take her? Can I take
Right.
my wife out to dinner? Can
Right.
I go to a movie with
Right.
her? Can I, take her out for a drink?
What if we
or
wanted to
something?
get out of town one weekend?
Yeah.
Could we go? Would we be able to afford it?
I like my hobby is collecting coins. Can I pick up a coin this week?
Yeah.
Can my wife likes to craft? Can she buy supplies to help herself out to
Right.
make something for this week? There's stuff like that really makes you think that, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
With that. So
It really is ridiculous. I mean, we aren't. That's what I mean when I say that. They don't understand the whole middle class. They don't get it. They don't understand it.
no, and they think they're trying to help out the middle class. You're not helping us.
No, you're
You're
fucking
not helping us. We're gonna take
Not
our
even
final.
the closest.
Yeah, no. We're gonna take our final break and end up the show. We got about 15 minutes left, and I gotta pee again. So,
Did you take your pills?
huh?
Did you take your pills?
Yeah, I didn't. So we'll be back, and I'll pick another theme to follow us as we listen to a little body language right here on the Bull Session Podcast. Stay tuned.
Excellent.
Little Burbank Robber by Paul Zuzu, or
Who is Paul Zuzu?
I don't know.
Any relation to Zuzu Pedals from Adventures of Fort Fairlane?
No. I'm trying to turn something else down on you.
No, I don't.
Well, another good podcast in the books, my friend.
Excellent.
Lots of good stuff we talked about today. Remember, email us bullsession@kmsimedia.com. That is our email address. Or check us out on
Is it
Facebook.
Our email address. For
Yes,
real?
it is.
Oh.
It is. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Chip,
Chip.
anything else you want to talk about before we call it a day?
I hadn't really thought of anything.
This is the time where we just kind of like, show's pretty much over. So
Just like to go drink.
let's go jerk off and shit, What was I gonna say? Crap.
I don't know. What were you going to say?
I don't-
Oh,
I-
you know what? I would actually kind of like to mention a little
Yes.
bit about
Go ahead.
Nebraska football.
Oh God, we could
If
spend a
anybody-
whole
if
hour.
anybody watched-
watched that Minnesota game? It was god awful.
Well-
I was lucky. I was at work and I caught bits and pieces, but you had to suffer through. My wife suffered through it. She said it was terrible.
I came in at the end and saw what was going on, and I just could not fucking believe it. But I am like, oh my God. So, yeah. It just, I don't know. I like Mike Riley.
I've
think he's
heard
a good
rumors
guy,
that I've heard rumors that
but
he'll be back.
He just,
I have heard
he
rumors.
just can't.
Well, here's the one thing too, and if you watched it, now I don't know about this game, but I went to the Northwestern game.
Yeah, you were there.
I went to the Northwestern game, and it was a good game, with the exception of the end of the game. And the overtime.
it was neck and neck. I mean, I was
It was neck
watching
and
it
neck.
here,
Northwestern was not a great team, but there was a time, I think, in the third quarter.
but Northwestern plays us hard every time.
Every team plays us hard
And-
every time,
well,
regardless.
Northwestern,
that's why Ohio
Northwestern. They're
State-
just like we're gonna come in there, and I want to win this fucking game.
Yeah.
I mean, that was how their coach sees it every time.
Ohio
I want to
State
beat
plays
these
us
guys.
hard. That's why Ohio State beats us by 50 points. That's why Wisconsin beats us by 30
I didn't think
points.
I didn't think we stood a fucking chance
No,
against Ohio State.
but there was a part, and during the Northwestern game, there was a section in the third quarter where Tanner Lee got the coverage he needed,
Okay.
got the protection he needed,
which is usually never.
and literally, I think it was one of the first plays Nebraska had in the third quarter that they go down, and in a minute they score a touchdown.
Okay.
Okay, and I think they were down 17-14 and a half, and it became 21-17, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And I saw some good coverage, good protection,
Right.
and everything flowed. But when you see that he's not getting Tanner Lee is not a horrible quarterback. He's not the best quarterback, but he's not horrible.
But he needs
to have that protection.
He needs a line.
He needs an offensive line because
Yeah.
he doesn't have one.
He definitely doesn't have one of
No.
those. and I think he doesn't judge the field real well. I think he just kind of throws like, oh, somebody's open, fucking toss it, and there's where the
Well, here's
picks,
the funny thing,
the
too,
picks
is-
come from. I mean, he had how many did he have in the Northwestern game? Like 6?
No,
or
he had.
it was like 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Yeah.
Okay,
But you got to think too is they're switching
but they're always when
what's the
we're
name?
about to score.
Yeah.
They're always when we're marching down the field, and he's like, okay,
he's a pocket passer.
yeah, let's
He's
go.
not a runner.
Okay, we're okay. You guys you're in the red zone, and then he throws an interception.
Nebraska
Do it
is
every
notorious
time.
too for having before Tanner Lee some of the best running quarterbacks ever. You had Eric Crouch, who was a good running quarterback. Even
Oh, he was
Tommy
an awesome.
Armstrong
He was an awesome running
you know,
quarterback. He was Crouch was probably the best. Probably Tommy Frazier was
I
probably
thought
the
Brooke
best.
Behringer was really good, but Tommy Frazier was a good
I
one
didn't
too.
see enough of Brooke to
Yeah.
really judge him, but
He did very, very well.
he was only in for like how long was he?
Not
in?
even a year.
Okay,
It was not even
I
a
didn't.
year.
I know it wasn't
He-
too long. Before he passed away, but which was terrible.
Tommy Armstrong, who was around there too. Zach Miller. Not Zach. Was it Zach Miller? Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor.
Zach
yeah.
Taylor. They were all running quarterbacks. That's one thing that Tanner Lee is not.
No, he's not.
He
He's a
tries
passer.
running. But one of the things that's funny is when you have 90,000 people in the stands and 75 of them all go, that is like that. Literally,
every
I'm not
time he
kidding you,
goes back.
Every time he goes back,
Yes,
75,000 people in that stadium that day literally went, and
Every-
it was hilarious. And if you go watch a game with anyone, they're literally doing the same damn thing.
I think that's funny. I think it's funny that they do that in the stadium
Oh
because
my God,
when I'm
it was
watching
so
it,
funny.
because when I'm watching it at home, I'll look and he'll go back and I'll be like, oh God,
Yeah.
like every time I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Because he's gonna pass it and you fuck.
Yeah.
Should I watch this because it may be an interception? Hopefully it's not, but every time. But see, that was the way when I watched Jamal Lord and
Jamal Lord, yeah.
when
is a
he would
one,
go
yeah.
pack and pass because he would throw picks all the time, and it was like, oh God.
It'll be interesting to see how things turn out because now Nebraska would have to win their last 2 games, or they have 3 more. I'm sorry, they have 3 more. They have Purdue. Who else?
Penn State. And
Purdue,
Iowa.
Penn State, and Iowa.
Yep.
Purdue, in a normal universe, would be a win, but it's up in the air. We'll say that it's up in the air. Penn State is a loss. I'm not going to
guaranteed
give them
loss.
as a guarantee
Iowa's
loss.
a loss too.
Iowa
There's
more than likely is
no
gonna be a
way
loss.
they were going to beat Iowa.
You can sit there and say, Iowa will beat Ohio State. Well, Ohio State didn't judge Iowa right. Iowa's not a perfect team. It's
No, they're not. They're up. I mean, they
they have their
struggle.
ups and downs. They're struggling.
But there's no way we are going to beat Iowa.
So,
At
more
least
than
in my
likely,
opinion, I just don't
we
think
have
it can
4
be
wins
done.
right now at this point. We have 4 wins. We have 4 wins, 5 losses, I think.
If we end up going, oh my God.
We have to have at
just
least
4
one
wins.
more. We need one more win to even have an opportunity at a bowl. We need 2 wins to get a bowl. 1, we could get one because if you remember the first year Riley coached,
Right.
we went 5-11 or 5-10 or 5-9 or whatever, and we got it because of the academic scores.
Jesus, that's pathetic.
So if we get 5, we'll probably get a bowl because Nebraska has great academics. They do.
right.
But if we have 4, there's no way we're
want
getting one.
us to only be. It was just funny because people told me before he got hired, they're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be next Tom Osborne. I got a great feeling about this guy." I'm like, before we start blowing him, can we maybe see what the fuck he's gonna do?
Yeah.
Because he hadn't done anything. Then I
No.
looked at his record. I'm like, his record from Orient is not very good. Yeah. It's just not. I mean, and I wish he would get more fired up. But as a
I honestly
person,
don't see-
he's a good man, and I think they just saw it as like
Yeah.
it's a safe hire because Pelini was causing all kinds of ruckuses and everything like that. This guy's a safe hire.
Yeah.
He's not going to rustle. He's not going to rustle any
There's-
feathers.
There's a lot of things
good.
that they think that Scott Frost is going to come back.
No, they've been saying that
He's
since
doing
Tom.
quite
They've
well.
been saying that since Osborne retired.
Well, no, that was when he retired athletic.
That's what I mean.
Okay,
yes, they've been saying that
But,
forever about Scott Frost.
I honestly,
Scott Frost is
I've
going to
heard
come back. Scott Frost.
I've heard that Riley will be around next year, and if he does, he He now has an athletic. Here, this is the only thing I'm going to keep is Bill Moose, because he had an athletic director in Sean Eichhorst that seemed not to give a shit. Literally, Eichhorst never did made. And then when he did open his mouth on Twitter or whatever he did
that's
on
going to be
Facebook,
it for him though next year.
But
he's going to have 1 year to clean up to get them going, or he's going to be done.
And I agree with
if
you
he
on that
comes
point.
back.
I really do. Is that if he's back next year, he's going to have 1 year, and he's going to have to hit at least 8 wins.
Oh, at least
8 wins to keep his job.
Because I'm sorry, I'm sick of watching them be half-ass or just be shitty.
Right.
I mean, granted, when Pelini was there, they did win games, though.
They did.
Yes, they didn't, go as far as we wanted them to go, but I'll take.
Neither did with Solich's career.
No, but
Towards the end,
Solich did. Yeah. I mean, 9-3, shit like that. 9-3.
Solich did the same thing. Solich never lost less than 8 games.
10-2. I'm comfortable with that because at least we're winning majority of our fucking schedule. But you got to think
is back then too, is people still had 95 syndrome. They still wanted that national championship, and 9-2 was not going to do it.
Nope.
So then you have a
so
brash
then it was like,
AD
no, we need who's going to really
one of the
get
worst
them going
ADs
again
that we ever had, which was Steve Peterson, and he's like, hey, guess what? I'm bringing this guy that played in a Super Bowl. You know what? It wasn't even his team. It
was Chucky's team.
It was Chucky's team. So you bring him, and he brings Nebraska to its worst.
And then Chucky beat him in the Super Bowl that they fucking played in with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And then he brings Nebraska to its worst record
ever
of the modern era.
Yeah. Yep.
Since Devaney.
He broke, I remember the one, I don't remember who they played, but it was 70-10. I forget who they played.
I remember that game.
But it was 70-10. They said that broke a record of
we went to a bowl for every year for 45 some years.
Yep.
And then
he broke that
year he broke that record. And it looks like Mike Riley more than likely will add to it this time. So, pardon me.
I had to bring it up.
No, we should actually. From now on, we will finish with some Nebraska talk,
just a little bit of
sports
football,
talk,
a
little
bit of
football,
Nebraska talk.
little football. Hopefully, my Kansas City Chiefs are not playing this week.
Your
Rams are doing good.
They're doing all right.
They're doing all right, man.
I think they only have 2 losses. I think they're 6-2.
To tell you the truth, I was a little worried because the Seahawks were doing really, really well, but what's his name got injured really bad on the Seahawks. And Seahawks, a lot of people were picking them. I think LA's going to run the table.
Who got injured?
Benjamin? Was that his
Richard
name?
Sherman?
Richard Sherman, thank you. Richard Sherman. Okay. He got injured, and he's out for a couple weeks, if not the rest of the year.
Oh, shit.
So that really, I think, puts Seattle in its place. I know LA is going to win their division. Hands down, they're going to win the NFC West.
See, I don't know who they played today.
I don't either, off the top of my head, and my phone's over there, so I can't even look.
I can look up here.
Kansas City is off this week. So
now, how many losses did Kansas City have? 3.
Kansas City has 3. They're 6-3.
Okay. Weren't they all in a row though?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they went 5-0, and then they went 5-3, and then won a game.
What the crap?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we beat the Texans 33-7.
That was a given.
Rams.
I knew that was going to happen. Let's see, what's today?
Patriots and Broncos play tonight.
This is next week. I don't want next week.
I do.
I want week 10.
I want week 8.
Bucks beat the Jets. Saints blew away the Bills 47-10. Right now they're beating the Rams or beating the Texans. 2 minutes left in that game. Niners beating the Giants. Patriots and Broncos are the Sunday night game. My money on that one's going to be on the Patriots. Broncos are just not the team this year. Let's see who else we got here. Seahawks Cardinals was a Thursday game. Saints Bills, I said that. Lions beat the Browns 38-24. Titans beat the Bengals 24-20.
Lions beat my Browns.
Packers.
Oh my God, the 49ers won a game?
Ah, crap.
31-13.
Yeah, they're winning right now.
Well, that's what I mean. There's only 3 minutes
but they're going
left.
against the Giants.
They're playing. There's 3 minutes left.
And then the Monday night game is the Dolphins and Panthers. And I think I have the Panthers for that game.
No, you don't.
Yeah, the Rams are winning. Rams are doing really, really well.
They're not going to lose this game. There's 2 minutes left, and it's 33-7.
Yeah. Come on,
That's pretty
Rams.
much-
I was
that's
trying to
pretty
bring
much-
up the Rams here.
That's pretty much wrapped up.
Standings right now, yeah, the Rams are leading the NFC West over the Seahawks because they
We're
beat
going to be
the
7-2
Seahawks.
here in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. Eagles right now 8-1, so probably it's going to be Rams Eagles, I think, for the NFC Championship. Steelers
Eagles are
Steelers
doing
KC
good.
will probably be because literally Kansas City is going to win the NFC West. They have 6-3 right now. The Raiders are 4-5. The Broncos are 3-5. The Chargers are 3-6. The Browns have not won a game yet this year.
The Browns haven't won one yet?
They're
I thought everybody had
0-9.
won now.
No, they're 0-9, and the Niners are 0-9. So the Niners are going to get out of that one.
Oh, God.
Niners
they're
are coming out of the cellar, so now the Browns are going to be the worst. The Browns probably get number 1 pick next year.
Poor Browns.
So we'll do football talk next week. I think it's a good thing. So actually, we gotta get going here. It's about 30 seconds. Anything else?
No.
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 I'm gonna come over and watch more Simpsons with you because I don't have cable anymore. It sucks.
You have it. I just hooked it up.
Thanks. Next time, hopefully next week, more stuff on how Mr. Roy Moore, a.k.a. Pederass Roy, will be doing, and yeah. So,
I wonder if he's ever going to admit that he did this, or
Probably
he's just going to
not.
keep denying it.
yeah, probably not.
He'll probably just keep denying it.
Yeah, so will the rest of the Republicans. Till we meet again, my friends, I am Bud Russell.
I'm Marcus Cross.
The Bull Session Podcast. I'll see you next time. Good night.
Peace out.